James 5:16 says, "Therefore, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective." You see, first we have to trust God, but then we have to come to a place where we can trust each other. We have to be able to be transparent about where we are in our relationship with God. We have to. How am I supposed to know how to pray for you if I don't know what you're going through? Take it a step further. How am I supposed to be able to fulfill a need in your life if I don't even know what you need? See, it's easy for a superficial kindness, and I don't want to feel like I'm disrespecting this, but it's easy to say good morning and to shake somebody's hand and be kind to them and say, hey, good to see you. But it's a whole other thing to invest your life into somebody's life, to be transparent and say, hey, I suck. I have problems, I have issues, and I need help. I need community. That's the church. That's the church. We see in James 5:16 there's an obvious correlation between confession and honesty and transparency and healing. But that also means that we have a responsibility to change the culture in our church and to make it a safe place to be transparent. Right? I mean, I can sit up here all day long and say we have to be transparent and be honest about where we're at, but if it's not a safe place to do that, then you can't fault anybody. See, community is a give and take. On the other side of that coin, the transparency coin, we not only have to be transparent about where we're at, but we also have to be transparent about where each other are at. And I'm not talking about calling people out on their stuff. But we have to come to a place where we love each other enough. Where we're coming from a place of genuine love for somebody, coming alongside them, throwing an arm over them and saying, hey, I see that you're struggling. I see that you're in a season right now that looks comfortable and you want to stay there, but God is telling you that it's time to move camp and move on, and you're struggling. You want to sit still. But because I love you, I got to tell you, God's got something better for you, brother, sister. 1 Corinthians 13:6 says that love rejoices in the truth. If I love you, I'll tell you the truth. I can't water it down. If I water it down, that means I don't love you. I have to be willing to come to you and say, hey, look, I'm here for you. Whatever it takes. I hope it's okay to use you as an example. Paul often rejoiced and celebrated and bragged about the Philippians. He loved their joy. He loved their charity, and so he would brag about them to the other churches. And so forgive me if I use your name, but I'm just bragging about you because I love you. But some of you guys, I hope all of you guys got the flyers, the United flyers. The first Sunday of every month, starting February, we're going to have a worship night, a night of worship, 5 p.m. And we'll have live music, guest musicians. I'll be preaching. It'll be a good time. But when I was planning this, I didn't realize that the first Sunday we're planning this for is on Super Bowl Sunday. My flesh tells me it's going to affect our attendance. So I'll see you all there, right? You've all been forewarned. But my flesh tells me it's going to affect our attendance. And this is where community becomes so vital. When I'm having a hard time trusting the Lord, and I'm thinking, God, why didn't I look at the calendar? And then John and Mary Louise Vandermeulen, who most of you know, and if you don't, get to know them because they're amazing people. They come alongside me and they say, we're not changing the date. We're going to trust God. We're going to trust Him. He's going to bring who He's going to bring, and we're going to be faithful. See, that's where transparency becomes so important. We have to be willing to step out and just be honest with each other and say, hey, you're not trusting God right now. Be willing to remind each other and say, look, God's got this. You see, our feelings, our faith can be influenced by circumstances, emotions, etc. I mean, we're such fickle beings, but God is immutable. He doesn't change like we change. And so to have somebody in community come alongside you and remind you, hey, don't waver. It's so vital to our relationship with God to have community like that.